Hey, VC, Jeff here. So I got a package in I wanted to share. This is great stuff, great stuff, great stuff. This is a new band, brand new band. Look at this. Got a t-shirt. Moonshine Zombies. MoonshineZombies.com. So a few years ago, actually, maybe 2 years ago, at least 2 years ago, an old friend of mine, not old as an age, but goes back into the 80s, popped up on Facebook. Hey, guess who? He wasn't active on social media. I've lost touch with him. Had looked him up a couple times over the years, but never did see him. Popped up and said, hey, we're back. So anyway, long story short, him, the guitar player, the bass player have worked together in the past. Back in the 80s, they were in a band. They put out a handful of demo-type custom tapes, and I used to talk to them all the time on the phone. And they were just one of my, I love the band. They were a great band. They eventually did, so that was like in 88 through 91. They put out, I don't know, four or five. They sent me a bunch of different songs over the years because we became kind of, friends and everything. And so he was sending me stuff. And then in 93, they got signed to a small label, changed their name, put out a full-length album. And that was it. The band kind of dissipated. I didn't hear anything about them for any time after that. And like I said, totally lost touch with, the singer who I talked to on the phone all the time. And then, 2 years ago, 2020, 2019, 2020, I go back just a couple years, he pops up. Hey, me and the guitar player and the bass player are working together again. We got a new project coming out. They were going to be releasing this project under the same name as the 1993 album, but he sent me some of the material and it was drastically different style-wise. His vocal style was more mature, was different, totally different style. So I just kind of threw out there, I said, you may want to consider maybe changing your name. I mean, the one album that was put out wasn't like, it didn't make a huge name for them, so I don't think they were going to be losing much of the reputation with that. But style-wise, it wasn't anything like that. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but they'd eventually change their name. And so they finally finished. This is their album, Moonshine Zombies. And so yeah, so would fall into the harder edged, I guess you could call it somewhat metal, but it's more sludgy, grooving. Now I want to kind of try to give you an idea what they sound like. It's kind of tough because it's fairly unique, at least to me. I'm sure there's bands, people listen to this and they may say, oh, that sounds like so-and-so. Maybe I'm not familiar with so-and-so. But the band they do have kind of at times sludginess that at times does kind of feel like it might kind of cross into the doom field. Not so much though, but there is like one riff on Mountain Fog, for instance, that just sounds like it's right out of the book of something from a Trouble album. But that's just a riff, some of the way. And I'm going to be playing clips in between here because it's really hard to describe it. But very lower range. I think I hear a lot of Glenn Danzig type vocals. So if you're into that, some people compare him to like a slightly heavier version of like an Elvis, but lower register vocals, and then at times he's got one that's more of a I don't want to say yelling, but you know, a little bit more of a higher aggressive sound. And at times, just very briefly here and there, I hear a little Rob Zombie. Musically, it doesn't have all those effects, but it's just got a grittiness to it. At times, it makes me picture kind of and occasionally hear a little bit of a Rob Zombie. But I would say more of a Danzig meets Elvis with a little bit of Rob Zombie's brother in there. So they're from Kentucky. And initially, they were toying with the idea when they changed names of being called the Kentucky Hillbilly Revival. Now, that name suited what I was hearing musically, because it really, at times, there's electric guitar, but I mean, at times there's acoustic guitar, almost a steel guitar feel. There is an occasional harmonica twerp here and there. And at times, intros, things along that line remind me of some good old boys picking around the fireplace, you know, cowboys, western, hillbillies, just that gritty hillbilly hillbilly acoustic guitar sound that you would think you know, that kind of country that's a little more stripped down. Times, and then it kicks in with some electric, and again, you know, it kind of keeps to a slower pace. So I don't know, the clips hopefully do a little more justice, and hopefully you will go check them out, because it is I really enjoy it, and it's a great album, and hopefully you'll enjoy it too. He'd send me some rough tracks over the year that they've been recording, and I was just loving everything I heard, and then this finally dropped on June 1st. So again, it's check them out. It's going to be something that it's not, you know, if you're into slightly heavy music but not heavy music, then you should really dig this. It's got a bunch of groove and a bunch of different feeling, you know, different styles feeling throughout. Yeah, so great stuff. They also sent me one of their little koozies. So, and I do have set up, I was supposed to do it by June 1st, but we just could not organize our time together. But John and I, the singer, are going to be doing an interview, so you will be seeing that, and you'll get a little bit more of a background information on them. So I'm not going to I don't really want to mention the previous bands, because the 1993 album was reissued in 2017 on vinyl, and all of their demos from the 80s were reissued on remastered CDs in 2019. So I don't know if that resurgence of their old stuff popping back up had anything to do with them getting back together or not, but it just seems kind of interesting in 2017, 2019, and then 2020 was when the album was being worked on. But I don't really want to mention those two bands by name per se, because A, they were smaller releases that a lot of my viewers probably don't know who they are, and second, the style-wise is so drastically different. I wouldn't really want you to go, oh, it's that band, I didn't like that, or oh, it's that band, I did like that, and then you hear this and you're like, oh, I don't know. Fresh ears, check this out, moonshinezombies.com, check it out, see what you think. I'm sure I'll reveal more when we do the interview, which should be really soon. But anyway, just wanted you to check that out. Website, moonshinezombies.com. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.